Hi, everybody. This is Cheryl Richardson, and I am here. It's almost 6 o'clock. I said that I was going to go live at 6 o'clock, and I thought I would join in just a little bit earlier to get settled, say hello to some of you, and get ready to just talk about the power of presence, and also we'll do a tapping session. It just said to me that my signal is weak, so I hope that's not true. Thank you. Okay, thanks for the thumbs up. Somebody can just comment me. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Luann. Great, so this is working. I don't know why my signal would be weak, but I just thought I would say hello to some of you before we get started. Hi, Noelle and Jennifer. Hi, thank you. Yeah, you're catching me live, Noelle. I'm here. Hi, Nibakt. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Tamara from Melbourne. Hi, Sarah. You hear me fine? Thank you. That's great. And Sandy. That's terrific. Hi, Jeff. How you doing? So I'm glad that you're here, and I am going to talk about a few things. I'm going to talk about the importance of presence and some of the things that I do in order to really practice being present in everyday life. And then I'll talk about some strategies for that. And then we'll do a tapping session. And the last time I did tapping, last Tuesday night, my mom tuned in, and just in case, hi Mom, just in case you see this, because I know she'll watch it. She's such a sweet fan of mine. She tuned in and she called me up and she said, Cheryl, I loved your tapping video, but you have to slow down. I can't follow you when you speak too fast. And there were a few other people who had said the same thing. So I knew, I was excited and I was probably nervous, and also I forget that when I'm not tapping with somebody right in front of me, I forget that I have to be really mindful of slowing down so that you can repeat. So I'll do that tonight, and then my mom won't yell at me. She's going to kill me for saying that. Hi, Dejana from Bosnia, and Sharon. Hi, Vinci, and Nikki from Barcelona, one of my places I want to get to, and Giovanni, hi, from Italy, one of my places I've been to and love very, very much. And Donna, hi Donna, nice to see you, nice to see your name. It's good to see your name. And Katerina from London, one of my favorite places. It's wonderful to be able to do this and to communicate with people all over the world. Ireland, that's up next. I'm going to go to Ireland. We were supposed to go this August. Brian Weiss and his wife Carol and Michael and I were going to go with some friends, but something's come up, so we're going to go next year instead. But I'm so looking forward to that. And hi, Naomi from Fremantle, Western Australia. Houston, Texas. Hey, Michelle. And Cindy from California. And Diane. Hi, Diane Ridley from Maryland. Nice to see you here. And Andrea. Hi, Andrea. It's been a long time. And North-Southwest Australia. Boy, we're all over the place, aren't we? All right, so the first thing I want to do is just say a little bit about the importance of presence. Now, if you've read my blogs and if you've heard me speak, you know I talk about the importance of presence all the time. I discovered something really interesting yesterday morning. Now, flashback several months ago, my sister-in-law, Diane, had said to me, you know what, Cheryl, she had taken this meditation class, simple meditation, and she said, would you like to partner up with me and do some meditating, like just sort of be accountable to each other so that we meditate every day for 10 minutes. And I said, sure, I love accountability. It's what really, gets the job done. And I said to her, yeah, I'd love to do that because I know how important meditation is and I don't do it all the time, and I would love to be able to do that with you. So we did that for 2 weeks. Every morning we would meditate for 10 minutes, and then we'd check in either by phone or by text and say, yep, I did it. And it really built this habit in place. And I continue to do it because by the end of 2 weeks, what I discovered was that it became my go-to strategy when I was feeling overwhelmed or stressed or anxious about something, or just feeling like, have you ever had that feeling as if your energy, as if you're outside of your body, like your energy isn't quite settled in your body? That happens for a number of different reasons. I know it happens to me around the full moon for sure. So what I discovered was the more I would do this meditation, the better I'd feel, and it became this go-to strategy. So that if I was feeling off in some way, I'd just sit down and meditate for 10 minutes. So since then, and that was probably, I don't know, a year ago maybe, since then, it's really become a regular practice for me. And yesterday, and what I noticed is, very often I'll be meditating for 10 minutes, and then when the alarm goes off, I'll press the stop button and continue. And I'll continue, and the alarm will go off, and I'll press the stop button, and just keep doing it. Well, yesterday morning, I had sat down to meditate for 10 minutes. That's all I ever commit to, and I always set an alarm on my phone. I shut the phone off. I put it in airplane mode. I set the alarm, and when the alarm goes off, I stop. And yesterday, I sat down to meditate for 10 minutes. The alarm went off. I hit stop, and I stayed there. And I stayed in this really beautiful, deep, quiet, peaceful state. And when I finally decided to come out of that state, I looked at the clock, and an hour had passed. And I swear to you, it felt like it was 5 minutes. And I had this huge smile on my face. I thought, wow, I finally, after years of wanting to meditate, I mean, most of us say that, right? We'd like to meditate. We all hear the benefits. We practice it off and on. Finally, after a long, long time, I'd reached a point where just practicing 10 minutes a day had allowed me to get to the point where 15, 20, 30 minutes felt better, and an hour felt like it was 10 minutes. And I'm telling you, I felt like I was floating for the rest of the day. It helps with everything. It helps with anxiety. It helps with worrying. Today's blog was about worrying. It helps with experiencing the beauty and the richness of life. You know, there's something about practicing presence. I like to call it practicing presence because it's like being right here. There's something about doing that that wakes you up to the nuances of life, to the beauty of, light and sound and nature and, other people. I mean, it connects us to the richness of life, and that in turn connects us to a sense of meaning and significance. So this practice of presence is really important. Now, one of the things, along with setting an alarm, which I think is really important, just focusing on 10 minutes, and knowing that the first couple of weeks, your mind's going to be incredibly busy, and it's going to drive you nuts, but your job is only to just stay there until the alarm goes off. Along with setting the alarm, which was really helpful. You know what else helped me was I read the book by David G. Oh gosh, and I'm totally spacing on the name. Shouldn't do that. If somebody could look up David G. I want to say it's Stressed, but it's not that. David G. had written a book about meditation, and he and I had dinner together. And he said something to me that was so helpful. And this might sound crazy. Thank you. De-stressifying. Nicole, thank you. Noelle, thank you so much. De-stressifying, that's it. I highly recommend his work. Thank you. Thanks, Diane. David G. said to me, it's really important to feather your nest. Now, I can be a good girl, too good a girl. And sometimes what would happen is that I would sit, thanks, Donna, I would sit and I would think, okay, you have to sit upright, you have to sit a certain way, and if you're not sitting right, even if it's uncomfortable, you have to sit that way. It's just so stupid. And David G. said, you know what, feather your nest. Make wherever you're going to sit for the 10 minutes really, really comfortable. Now, would I recommend lying down? Not unless you're okay with possibly falling asleep, because most people are sleep deprived, and so they end up falling asleep. I know that would happen to me. But sometimes I've lied down if I've just felt like my body would feel better that way. But for the most part, I sit up. I often have a pillow behind me. Sometimes I wrap myself in a comfy shawl, and I just close my eyes, and I choose to focus on the word peace. You don't have to do that, but I focus on the word peace, and I just sit quietly. And every time my mind starts to spin out, I just come back to peace. Peace. Sometimes I see it written in front of me. Sometimes I tune in to my breath. If I'm having a hard time even with using the word peace, I'll just take a deep breath and start following my breath. And actually what I do is I take a few deep breaths, but then I let it get small and shallow. Let's say small, not shallow, but just small. Yeah, it's small and shallow. I let that happen, and what happens is I imagine myself sort of getting small and sinking down into myself. And it really works. So when David G said feather your nest, like make it be comfortable for you, I'll go search out sun rays, for example. I like to sit in the sun. Sometimes, I'll go sit next to Poupon, who I could not get to come in here, although he might surprise us. He's very independent, we'll say. Sometimes I'll find sun to sit in. I know lately, it's been gorgeous here in the Northeast. It's felt like spring. So sometimes what I do is I go and I sit, I open a window so I can hear the birds outside or the wind, so that I'm really creating a comfortable, peaceful environment. And that makes it easier to sit for the 10 minutes. And you only have to sit for 10 minutes. And I promise you, if you practice it for 2 weeks, it'll make a big difference. Now, if that feels like too much, then the other way that you can practice presence is to just tune into your body. So for example, if I was sitting here, I am sitting here now. Hi, Terry Stratton Brown. Mwah! I love you. By sitting here now, what I might do is I might close my eyes and I may notice where my feet are. They're resting on the sofa, and I feel the tops of my feet pressed against the cushion on the sofa. I feel my right knee pressed against the sole of my left foot. I feel my elbow resting on the sofa. And I hear the clock ticking next to me. And I can just feel a bit of cool breeze in the air. So in other words, what I'm doing is I'm really tuning into the sensations of the present moment. And that's another way to just begin practicing being in the present, another way to practice presence without actually having to sit down and meditate. If you do that several times a day, sometimes I'll be in a meeting and I'll say to myself, Cheryl, feel your butt in the chair, feel your feet on the floor. Ooh, I shouldn't have worn those heels. Oh, my stomach's growling. I need to get something to eat, or I need to get a sip of tea, which I'm going to take right now, actually. Taste the tea. Feel the warmth going into your body. Just practicing being present with the things that you do day in and day out can make all the difference in the world. It's really, really important. So tuning into your body. And then there's tapping. And you know what? Tapping is a really awesome way to come into the present moment. And I mentioned in this week's blog that just came out today that the Tapping World Summit launches tomorrow. And after I post this blog, after I post this video, I'll be sure to put the link and the information that you need in order to join. I really encourage you to do that, especially I encourage you if you've got children and you want to use tapping with them. I think that's a great idea. If your children are older, you could even have them listen to some of the Tapping World Summit. The last tapping session that I did, I gave away, I just shipped out, by the way, a bunch of the children's books. Gorilla Thumps and Bear Hugs by Alex Ortner. I shipped those out to a bunch of people this week. And I do have a few more left. So if you're, so I'll go back through the comments here. If you leave a comment, I'll go back through and I'll just pull a few people at random and send out some more of the books that I have to you. And it doesn't matter where you are, because I ship all over the world. Happy to do that. So the tapping really works to help us come into the present moment. And the Tapping World Summit is an awesome way to learn from a variety of teachers. And most of the teachers have really been immersed in this world of tapping for many, many years. I think my session is on day 4, and it's about managing change. It's about transition and change. So, and I do a bunch of tapping during that session as well with Jessica Ortner, who is just a wonderful, wonderful host for the whole summit and those of us who are teaching. Okay, so let's do some tapping. You want to? And like I said in the beginning of this video, in case you weren't here yet, my mom told me that I need to slow down when I'm tapping. She watched my last video, and I promised her that I would do that. So yes, here's what I want you to know about the tapping. I went through a lot of the comments. We had over 900 comments for the last Facebook Live that I did. And I went through all the comments. And I want you to know that for those of you who talked about, will this help with flying? Absolutely. Fear of flying is the thing that hooked me into tapping almost 20 years ago. Thanks, Lynn. Yes, my session is on day 4 of the Tapping World Summit. 20 years ago, I was on a plane with my husband, Michael. We hit turbulence. I was a really nervous flyer. When I was a young girl, in my early 20s, I had flown on a trip with my mom and dad, and we had a really bad flight. And it was traumatizing. And so I didn't fly for a long, long time. Then eventually I did, and I was always a nervous flyer. And on this particular flight, we hit turbulence, and I started to get really anxious. And Michael, who was with me, and who, my husband's a therapist and a fitness expert, and he uses tapping, had just begun studying it back then, immediately started tapping with me. And within 15 minutes, my anxiety was gone. The turbulence hadn't stopped, but my anxiety was gone, and the rest of the flight was fine. And from that point forward, the amount of anxiety I had, I would say, when flying, had decreased by 80%. And over the next several months, as I continued to use tapping, or over the next year, it went down to practically nothing. So it works great when you're worried about getting a diagnosis or the results of the results of any tests that you have done. It works really good with children. I think it's a wonderful thing to teach kids. I love that Alex Ortner is giving the books away to schools. He's donated a ton of books to kids in schools so that they can learn to tap. It's a great way to manage just low-level anxiety. So I'm going to do a tapping session to restore peace and calm. And so regardless of what you're dealing with, you'll be able to use this. And I'm going to go slow, and I'm going to invite you to just repeat after me. So I'm going to just look here. Let me look. Hi. Oh, I love this. Inez from Greece. Hi. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to go through. I'm going to do the tapping. And yes, it works good with, I would try it with any kind of mental illness that you or a loved one might be dealing with, anything like that. It's very, very helpful. And again, if you sign up for the World Tapping Summit, you'll be able to listen to experts over the next, I think it's 12 days, and it won't cost you anything. I mean, you don't have to buy the summit. I appreciate so much that Nick and Jessica and Alex do this. Some of you might decide that you want to get it afterwards. I know that I always love to get it, but you don't have to. You don't have to. By the end of, if you listen to a lot, by the end of the week, by the end of the 10 days or however many days they do it, trust me, you will be really, really masterful at tapping. So, okay, so let's do it. I'm going to do several rounds, so you'll learn the tapping points as I go through the rounds. We start with the karate chop point. And the one thing to remember is that regardless of what you're tapping about, whether it's fear of flying, let me give you some examples, because you can go back and watch this and write down these examples. So for things like, even though I'm so afraid of flying, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. Even though I'm afraid to get the results of my medical test, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. Even though I feel anxious about the state of the world, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. Even though I have all this financial fear, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. Even though I'm afraid I'll never find the job that I need, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. So the setup is, even though I feel blank, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. That's sort of like one of my go-to ones, but I'm going to use a bunch of different ones with you for the tapping session. So here's what you want to do first. Close your eyes for a second and take a breath. And just tune into something that might be worrying you, making you feel anxious, anything that just might not be, anything that just might be making you feel overwhelmed or nervous. Just tune into that. And notice on a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 being I have no anxiety at all, and 10 being I have all this, it's very high, I have a lot of fear and anxiety. Just notice where it falls on a scale from 1 to 10. This way we can measure how the tapping works for you. So just tune into whatever it is you feel nervous about. And then measure it on a scale from 1 to 10. Okay? So then here's what we're going to do. Tap the side of your hand. Okay. And now I just want you to repeat after me. I'm going to say it, then I'll be quiet so you can repeat it, and then I'll go to the next one. Even though I feel anxious, I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself. Even though I feel nervous, I love and accept myself. Even though I have all this fear, I love and accept these feelings. Okay? Then these are the spots. You ready? Just follow along and tap with me. I have all this anxiety. Side of the eye, this anxiety. Under the eye, this nervousness. Under the nose. By the way, you can tap with either hand or just one hand. This fear. All this anxiety. And this is the collarbone spot. I like to do it with 2 hands. All this fear and anxiety. Under the arm, this fear and anxiety. Top of the head. All this anxiousness, this fear and anxiety. I'm allowing it to leave my body now. Okay. Close your eyes and take a breath. And just tune in once again to the anxiety that you were feeling, and notice on a scale from 1 to 10 if it's changed. Okay, and if you want, you can go ahead and you can post the number on a scale from 1 to 10. Post a number on here. Doesn't matter which hands you use. You can use both hands. You can use one. You can switch. The points are what's important. And sometimes I'll use 2 hands. If I'm out, in public, sometimes I'll just, use one hand. And when you get really good at tapping, you can actually not use any hands at all, and you can just focus on the points and imagine yourself tapping, and it feels better. Great. So we're seeing Kathy went from an 8 to a 5. Jacqueline went from a 4 to a 1. Susan went from an 8 to a 2. That's awesome. Yeah, and you might find that your animals will come around, unlike my cat. And as I said during the last time, some people will yawn, some people will laugh, some people will cry. So yeah, we did a brief one, and people are going from like an 8 to a 4 or an 8 to a 5, a 7 to a 2 or 3, a 9 to a 2 carry. That's great. So yes, so now let's do another round, and I'm going to mix it up a little bit, but again, I'm going to give you a chance to do it. So once again, yes, Susan, tears will come. That happens. It's normal. It just means that energy is being released. Part of what's happening is we're releasing energy, and we are allowing the body to calm down. And sometimes when people, really what's happening is you're becoming more present. It's like your energy is being pulled back into the body. You're becoming more present. And sometimes when people feel more present, they actually feel their feelings. They feel, and very often what we feel is sadness, because most of us have a tendency to kind of run over the uncomfortable feelings or to stay busy. And when we calm down, we get in touch with the emotions that have been, hanging around for a while. So, and that haven't been acknowledged. So, all right. Let's do another one. You ready? Let's close your eyes and take a breath. And once again, tune in on a scale from 1 to 10. and notice where any uncomfortable feelings you have, anything that's preventing you from being in the present moment, from feeling peaceful and calm, notice on a scale from 1 to 10 where that falls. And when you have a number, now you can go ahead and just follow me. And again, either karate chop is fine. You ready? So, even though I still have some of this anxiety, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. Even though I still have some of this fear, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. Even though I still have some of this nervousness, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. And stay right there, we'll continue. Even though I feel unsettled, I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself. Even though I feel anxious and uncomfortable in my body, I choose to love and accept these feelings. Even though I feel nervous and anxious, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. Okay, and we're going to go to the spots. You ready? I still have some of this anxiety. Side of the eye, the remaining anxiety. My remaining nervousness. The fear that's still here. I still feel a little anxious. Under the arm, I still have nervousness. Top of the head, I still feel anxious and nervous. Now stay with me and let's continue. I love feeling anxious. Side of the eye, no I don't, that's crazy. Under the eye, feeling anxious feels so good. In the nose, I hate feeling anxious. Let's go to the chin. I love feeling nervous and scared. Let's go to the collarbone. I hate feeling nervous and anxious. Under the arm, I love feeling peaceful and calm. On top of the head, I love feeling peaceful and calm. Here we go. Let's do, go back to the eyes. Every inch of my body feels peaceful and calm. Feeling peace throughout every cell of my body. I love being in the present moment. Feeling peace in every muscle. Peace in every bone. Peace in all my tissue. Peace from head to toe. I feel peaceful and calm. Okay, close your eyes and take a breath. I know I feel peaceful and calm. Okay. Now, let's check in again. Close your eyes and tune in. Yeah, Lynette, it's wonderful that you're sensitive. That's a gift. Celebrate that, sweetheart. That the tears, it's like the sensitive part of you is saying, oh, thank God, finally, I need to, finally I need to just honor this sensitivity. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being present to me. Yeah. So notice on a scale from 1 to 10, where it's landed in you now. Hi, Susan. Nice to see you. And go ahead and post. Tell me what number you are. A 5 to a 3, Linda. Good. Great. Yeah. Yeah, you can tap through the crying too, Lynette. It's totally fine. You can also just breathe through it. Or you can do things like, even though I keep crying, I love and accept myself. Even though I'm embarrassed about my tears, I love and accept myself. Even though I don't like being sensitive, I love and accept myself anyway. I just keep doing that. And yeah, so I'm looking at some of the questions here. If being in public makes you anxious, tapping privately will actually make a big difference for you. You might find that the anxiety is lessened when you go out into public, go out into the public. So, but you can also, you can just tap right here. No, and you can even rub right here. I've done this before. If something's gone on where I'm upset, like sometimes if I'm in an airport and there's a child that's crying who's clearly upset, or I see an animal in a carrier and I feel, I just feel for the animal. I make up these stories in my head that the animal hates it or whatever. Sometimes I'll just do this. I'll just rub the collarbone spot and say quietly to myself, honey, even though you feel upset, I love and accept these feelings. Even though you're upset right now, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. Even though I feel anxious, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. And just doing that alone can make a big difference. So, yeah, why did I say I love feeling anxious? Sometimes what I'll do is I'll go back and forth with the different tapping points. You'll see me go from I love feeling anxious to no, I don't. Yes, I do. I hate it. And really what that does is it rewires the brain. And oftentimes, sometimes it'll make people laugh. It'll make people yawn. And it'll help to just clear away the rest of the anxiety or the anxiousness or the fear that somebody's feeling. So that can make a big difference. That was Michael in the background. Did you see him? Hi, honey. Anyway, Linda, just keep tapping. You can tap on not feeling well. That's fine too. Yeah, Carrie, when I do that, I love being anxious. No, I don't. When I'm working with someone individually, it will often make them laugh. And that sort of breaks the spell as well. So sometimes there is no change, Carmen. It's no big deal. One of the things you can do is you can actually tap and say, even though this tapping doesn't seem to be working for me, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. Even though there isn't any change in how I feel, I choose to accept these feelings. Even though I'm afraid this will never work for me, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. So I choose to feel peaceful and calm is kind of a go-to saying that I use a lot, but you don't have to. It's really about accepting the feelings that you're having. So it's even though I feel blank, I love and accept myself. Even though I feel blank, even though I have this physical pain, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. Even though I have this anxiety, I love and accept myself. Even though I have all this fear and I'm afraid it will never go away, I love and accept these feelings. And if you really want to challenge it, sometimes what I'll do with somebody is do something like, even if this pain, Cindy, this would be good for you. Even if this pain never goes away, I choose to love and accept myself. Even if this pain never goes away, I choose to love and accept my body. Even if this pain never goes away, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. Now, that might sound radical, but it's really powerful. I always know when I'm tapping with someone, if I say to them, even if for example, let's say I'm working with someone who's a smoker, and if I say to them, if I ask them to say, even if I never quit smoking, I love and accept myself, and they say to me, oh no, there's no way I'm going to say that, I know that's exactly what they need to say, that there's a lot of self-judgment that's blocking the energy and it needs to be embraced. So again, even though I feel blank, I love and accept myself. I choose to love and accept myself. I choose to feel peaceful and calm. These are all really simple statements that you can use. All of this is in an effort to help you feel more present, more empowered, more return to an adult state instead of instead of feeling young. So, and young is often what we feel when we feel scared. So try it. Play around with it. Try it with your resistance. Try it with your nervousness, with your anxiety. Try it with, anything try it with your resistance to meditating, for example. give it a shot, see what happens, and be sure to post and let me know how it works for you, okay? I'll be reading the comments, I always do, and as I said, I'll post the Tapping World Summit link as soon as we're done here. I will choose some people at random to send the rest of Alex's books out to. And I'll be doing more of these, as a matter of fact. I mean, this is so much fun for me to do, and it's such a wonderful way to connect with all of you that I'm going to do regular live coaching sessions where you'll be able to bring your questions, and I'll do live coaching with you here. I wish I could have people right here with me, but this is the next best thing. And so, yeah, and Michelle, even if you just tap here, if you forget all the points and you just tap the collarbone with both hands, like this, like here's your collarbone, just below the collarbone, even if you just tap there, that ought to work great. So I'm trying to figure out when to do the live coaching session. I might do it on Sunday nights after the blog, but I'm definitely going to do it. I'm just not sure if I'm ready to set a regular date because my schedule is a bit flexible. But make sure that you're subscribed to my newsletter. You'll see sign up right on my Facebook page. You can click there and you'll be able to sign up for my weekly blog. That's where I announce everything beforehand. I love you too, Margot. And I'll post the Tapping World Summit and check out the events section of my website because I'm going to be in Vegas in April for the Extreme Self-Care Boot Camp. And at the end of April is my next Self-Care by the Sea retreat. And there's still some spaces left there, and there'll be another one in October. So I hope to meet you in person at some point. Thanks so much for being here with me tonight. I really appreciate it. And Anna, thank you for coming in from Trinidad. And yes, Donna, more Facebook Live sessions for sure. I so appreciate all of you taking the time to be with me. I really do. Take good care of yourselves, and I will be in touch with you again soon. Okay? Mwah. Much love. Bye.